All right, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. And yes, you can probably see from the thumbnail, I've got a little bit of breaking news. I do want to let you guys know I have dived into what's going on with Isaiah Buggs. I'm going to keep that to a separate video. Probably try to get it out in the morning chat unless I can get one or two other people that I trust to give me the inside scoop and confirm what I've heard from a couple other people now. But we're going to focus on this topic here today. I get that's probably why you guys are tuning in. So I'm going to say this real quick just to get this jazz out of the way at the start of every video. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Really trying to make a push to get to 4,400. When we get to 10,000, we're going to have a tailgate at Ford Field. Going to have food provided, yada, yada, yada. You guys all get the gist. Also hit the thumbs up button. All right, so where's this all coming from? I'm sure if anybody's watched Pat McAfee and some other stuff over the last month or so, you have seen a growing amount of sentiment between McAfee and J.J. Watt in regards to the Detroit Lions conversation. But something came out earlier this week. I didn't really think anything of it when one of my friends said something about it. But today, as you guys who watch the morning show know, I had to take the car into the Tesla dealership in Grand Rapids. Got nothing but time on my hands. Made a few more phone calls on it, and here's what I did find out. We all know that Brad Holmes went out and basically went grocery shopping at Dollar General this week to try to get some parts here. Bruce Irving, he's got, according to Dr. D, he's got his AARP card and everything. Dr. Detroit loves to come in with the jokes about it. But what I did find out from looking at who the Lions did sign this week, Bruce Irving was not the first call nor the first person to try to fix the pass rush that the Lions really went after. There is real legitimacy to this story. They have been slowly working, simmering with J.J. Watt and his representatives about coaxing the former superstar, the former NFL Defensive Player of the Year, yada, yada, all that stuff, into coming and play with the Detroit Lions. And I'll say this, it's a lot more possible than most of us probably would even guess, even as I'm doing this broadcast. J.J. Watt and his representatives have actually given strong consideration to this. It is no escape to anybody that J.J. Watt does not have a track record for postseason success. And if you're a competitive person, that's part of it. You want to be able to say, hey, you did something in the postseason. You want to put your name out there. There is a certain kind of culture that is enticing to J.J. Watt. And what I've heard out from now 3 different sources is simply this. Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, and the Detroit Lions are enticing to J.J. Watt and his representation. They're looking into it, but some of the cruxes of it as to why it hasn't happened yet is any kind of compensation that would be due to different sources if he should come out of retirement. And that's been one of the sticking points from what I'm told. I'm going to keep working on the story and try and get it to you guys as I get more information. As you guys know, if you watch Lions Talk Live for a while, I'm sure the haters are going to come out and come at me, but you know what? That's part of being a journalist. If you've been a journalist for 30 plus years, the haters are going to come for you, whether you tell them that the sky is blue or that Mountain Dew is the greatest thing on earth. Whatever it is, they're going to come after you. What I'm going to tell you, though, is if we look at it from what the personality types Brad Holmes and Campbell bring into this team, look at how they're wired, look at how they're built, play multiple positions, yada, yada, yada. J.J. Watt fits that to a T. J.J. Watt would not cost you more than likely any severe draft capital. So we're talking just the contract terms, which we all know, hey, that's probably right up his alley. So, I get the guy's been beat up the last, 3, 4, 5 years. We all get that. But if you think Bruce Irvin can give you 10 to 15 snaps a game, what could J.J. Watt give you on top of that? Could J.J. Watt play inside and outside on the defensive line? I think we all say yes, he probably could. And does J.J. Watt have a burning desire to go out a little bit better than what he did in Arizona? All right, I see a bunch of you guys jumping in the comment section. If you're new to Lions Talk Live, hey, we all communicate here. This is a family atmosphere here, so let's go through it. Lions fan number 1, what? Yes, I'm like I said, man, you got nothing but time when you're sitting in a car dealership, so I've worked on this for a while. Quentin, for real? Not a chance. I can only tell you what I'm hearing, man. So, and you've been on the channel long enough, you probably realize that, man. So, all right, let's keep on going here. Big Eddie Holmes is always cooking, and that's where I think a lot of this comes down to is Brad Holmes is always leaving no stone unturned to try to get on something to try to improve this team. And I agree with you 100% on that. And George, give it up to Big Bad Brad. If this happens, yes. And I would say this, it's probably no small chance. And George or anybody in the chat, you let me know your thoughts. But is it coincidence that you've seen McAfee and Watt and other media outlets now talking to him more and more in the last few weeks about this? To me, that stuff doesn't happen by chance. It's almost like foretelling, like in movies or TV shows. A lot of it is more. There are media people that probably know a whole lot more about things than you or I do. I mean, I get some stuff for you guys, but this, I'd say, it smells good to me. It smells like something that would fit. It sounds like a good marriage between team and player. Gary, that would be awesome. I would agree. That would help a lot of things, I would think. Bergs, hey, Dan. Hey, a shot in the test, man. Hope you got it, though. Chrome, what do you got? What up, though? What up with you, man? One funky. I'd be cool with it, but JJ's body has been breaking down from the last few years, so who knows what's left. Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you on that one, funky. I do think that's probably one of the major things, and that's why if you bring him in, it's almost got to be on a pitch count. You know, you can't overload his body, but what can you get out of him for, say, 5 snaps a quarter, 20 snaps total a game? You could probably get quite a bit out of him while trying to preserve his body. The other thing I would throw at you, one funky, is if you're JJ and you want to make a real push. I mean, I get, him, Irvin, some of these guys, they're going to go, balls to the wall. They're going to give it their all when they're out on that field. That's just how these dudes are wired. But now if you can get Irvin 3 to 4 snaps a quarter, Watt 3 or 4 or 5 snaps a quarter, you help preserve both of them while getting more out of them into the later part of the season. So my question to you guys all, if this goes down, when do you make it happen? Trying to save his legs and such, but you still got to get him ready, obviously, for the postseason. All right, Brett, yeah. What does he have left in the tank? I guess that's a $1 million question right now, ain't it? That's something you and I can't answer. I mean, they bring him in for a workout. They say, yeah, he's got something left. Obviously, they bring him in for that specific reason. So if they don't bring him in, I guess that means they didn't have enough left. But all right, 9 drinks. Happy belated birthday. Thanks for that, man. Thank you for that. Dash, wow. Yeah, that's what I would say would be most people's reaction as my camera apparently loses focus. All right, Hams, what do you got? This man has never been right about anything. Sweet. Well, I guess you don't watch the show very much then, I guess. All right, Jason, we just need to make a run this year. Maybe next, that's all. Yeah, it could be. Maybe this year, next year. Correct. Then leave. Yeah, Hams. Yeah. I mean, man, if I would say this, appear to have been right about TJ Hawkinson being traded, appeared to have been right about the Lions trading out of the number 6 pick down. So, I mean, I can't say that I bet 1,000. And the other part you have to keep in mind too, just because teams talk about a trade or whatever doesn't mean trades happen. If you think every time player A and B are talked about in a trade, that means the trade happens, I'd say you're pretty new to sports, my friend. All right, Jason, what do you got? And could probably help Campbell become a better player. It could be, yeah, they could for sure. Pooh Hams, exactly. It happens, man. Thomas, wait, what? Is it possible? It is, man. It's just going to come down to what I would think is, does JJ think he can get through it without destroying his body more? And I can only tell you guys this. I'm not saying the signing is happening today at 12:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm saying they're in talks, and they have been. I'm saying without question, Bruce Irvin was not the first person they called upon. Apparently, it was J.J. Watt. I can confirm those aspects of the story. I am not saying that J.J. Watt will be a Detroit Lion 100%. I'm saying that there apparently is real legitimate talks between both sides, and there is a level of possibility. It's no different than like when I got on about Jameson Williams. I think it was like 4 hours before the news was announced to the national media. I got it out to you guys that, hey, Jameson Williams is coming back today, not in 2 more weeks. Could they? I think I said he'll be back in 3 hours or whatever I put in the video. It ended up being 4 or 5 hours. So, sometimes things do change. They're fluid, but I do the best I can to report you guys the information as I get it and as I can confirm it. So go with that. All right, Brett, JJ would definitely fit our culture. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it, is that it makes sense to me. And not that Bruce Irvin doesn't. He does as well. I think he is a very strong locker room presence that would help ignite, the younger players and lead by example. But I think J.J. Watt also fits that persona. Bergs, no risk, high reward. I'm down for 10 games. He could help. Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm thinking it is too. It is intriguing. I would give you that answer 14, 100%. Just his presence and mentoring could be huge. Agreed. How old is JJ Watt? I want to say he's here. I guess look it up here for you. I want to say he's 34, but how old is JJ Watt? Hey, that's reporting for 34. So I was close. All right. How much would we have to pay him? Boy, that's between him and his representation. My guess is, it wouldn't be a ton. It's not like he's looking for a mega contract, and probably a lot of it would be incentive based versus just a flat salary. Big M definitely would help the D line and take some pressure off Hutch, regardless of what he has left. Agreed. Key third downs. And, you might have a point there, Jason, because you think about this. You got Hutch on one side. Let's say you move, I don't know, Ali McNeil inside along with J.J. Watt on obvious third downs, and then Urban on the outside, or Houston when he gets back. You might have something there as long as, you are convinced Urban and Watt have something left in the tank. Big M, agreed. Yeah, big thumbs up, agreed. I thought it was my eyes. Okay. No, it's sometimes the camera does that, man. Sorry about that. One Funky, I think he's 34, maybe 35. Yeah. So a little bit younger than Urban, but definitely he's up there. And his body, as we all know, have taken some beatings. Banksy, go watch the McAfee interview. Seems to me that he wants to come back. Yeah, and again, somebody who's been around athletes for a long time, really almost all my life. Athletes, just the way you're wired, you are competitive. You, especially when you get to such a status as you're a professional or even a high-level college player, you want to be able to go out on your own terms and make peace with things. And JJ, for all of his greatness, man, unfortunately for this dude, and he's not the only one in the NFL that goes through this, the body just takes such a beating, and you give it your all so much just to survive out there, that obviously his end to his career in Arizona wasn't ideal. Could this potentially be another opportunity for him? I think we'd all agree, yeah, it could be. He obviously in the NFC, you got a real possibility to make some noise, especially if the Lions end up getting the number 1 or number 2 seed. So we'll see what happens. Big M, don't let the haters get you down. Nah, man, I'd say this, man. If you've coached or been a reporter long enough, it's always going to be it. You could be in the national title game as a coach, and there's still people sitting behind you hating on you. It's just how it goes, man. And when you're a reporter, if you get some news out there, people only remember the ones that don't have. They don't remember the ones that do. So it's you see what I did there? Mountain Dew. Yeah, it's just part of it, man. They're bored with their day, I guess. All right, Gary, what do you got? Here, the great news. We have come so far, and that we would have a Hall of Fame player wanting to play in Detroit. Gary, you're 1,000% right. How long has it been since you've seen players of that status even mention coming to play in Detroit? And I would even say this, even with the Pistons, maybe a little bit the Tigers years ago, the Red Wings, obviously when they were the show in the NHL had that, but man, for the Lions, it's been a minute. It's been a long time. Mark, what do you got? Happy belated birthday. Thanks for that. Thank you very much for that. Michael Jordan, the famous MJ. JJ sees that Super Bowl ring and possibility. And here, I'm going to flash that one on the screen. I do think that's a big part of it, because you want to be in that conversation. Even if he only got the team, I shouldn't say only got the team, to the NFC Championship game. How much better you think if he's got to step down at that point that he feels about his career and just going out on his own terms. Bruce, yeah, fingers crossed, yeah. And guys, I want to repeat this. I am not confirming he is coming to Detroit. I'm confirming there were conversations and have been in recent weeks between both sides. That's what I can confirm. I can also confirm they went for JJ. The Detroit Lions went for JJ Watt before they went for Bruce Irvin. There was another player, too, that they went for prior. I do not know who that is as far as the defensive line. I will also have, maybe later today, but more than likely tomorrow morning, the full story on Isaiah Buggs and what's going on there. But I'm not going to put it out there because I already know there's 45 different YouTube channels that are going to be copying this story and putting it out there. And I'm going to save that one for tomorrow. So if you want the Isaiah Buggs story, you got to tune in tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock to roughly 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have your Mountain Dew ready. All right, Gary. Heck, let's give Bruce Smith a call. I'd be okay with that, man. That dude was a monster. I would be okay with it. And Gary, if you're a fan, as long as I think you've been, I'd say this: give Mike Kofer a call. If you remember him or Robert Porcher. All right, Robert, holy crap, getting Watt would absolutely make us a Super Bowl contender. Not going to get my hopes up, but that would be incredible. Yeah, and so I would say this. The people I heard it from obviously had the information for a bit. Like I said, one of them a week or so ago, gave me a call, let me know that it's happening. The problem they're running into is there's not enough people that know about it. So if they run it in their media formats, they're going to get in trouble. So they tell it to me, I get it out there. Hey, now it's speculation in a larger place. Now they can run it. So I guess is what I can say. So, Birds, what I can say, what do we got here? Thank you for everything you do, Dan. Much appreciated, brother. Anytime, man. I enjoy this stuff. People sling some mud. Hey, that's all part of it, man. Just don't mess up my hair. Jason, what do we got? JJ can tackle, Hurts, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. Yeah. I mean, he'd be versatile, wouldn't he? I mean, you could play him outside wide. You can bring him inside. And again, you're not going to start him. I would think at least. You're not going to give him, 40 snaps a game or 30 snaps a game, but 3 or 4 snaps each quarter, along with Bruce Irvin, maybe even a Houston. Now you got some depth. Now you got some rotation. Now you got some pass rush. So it's 14. Video of Houston working out looks great. Him and Watt late season push. Heck yeah. Yeah. And, you go to the haters real quick. I think it was literally a week ago. I put out something about CJ coming back and Houston coming back. And I think it was like the very next day, CJ Gardner puts out a video on his social media about him, whatever he's doing, running or lifting weights or something. And then whatever, it's been a week now, 6 days, Houston's putting back. So people want to come at you when they say you don't got anything right, but then they fail to address that stuff. So, what are you going to do? All right. But yes, to your point, answer 14. Yeah. You're starting to see the signs. If you can get a few more of these guys that, you got some depth in the secondary. You got some depth on the line. What more could you ask for going to the playoffs? And he did it without giving up any draft capital. All right, Jason, I think he really wants to play with his brother. Yeah, and it's true. It's just whether or not you can get him over there. So that's something, I can't speak on that part because I'd be BSing you if I said I knew anything about that part. Rob, I would take Watt over Chase Young at any age. There could be a level of truth to that. But so far, what I can say in Young's defense, you haven't heard the 49ers complain about him yet. Now, maybe that will change by the end of the year. We'll wait and see. Fenton, what do you got? No. His heart is damaged from the what. Oh, I see what you did there. That was a good one, man. All right. We'll see what happens. Brent, don't sweat the haters, coach. The Duke crew knows you do the best you can. Can't please everyone. Thanks for all the great work you do. Yeah, thanks for that, man. Yeah, like I said, man, some people like you, some won't. It happens. That's life. Michael Jordan, they really, really think they can make that run if they're going out after big of a name as J.J. Watt. Yeah, I would say there's a lot of truth, but you think about it. I mean, the secondary is not bad, but it's hard, as we've talked about on Lions Talk. It's hard to guard somebody for 15, 20 seconds. And that's an exaggeration, obviously. But when you go look at the Seattle game, I can't swear to it, but I bet you there's a ton of times they drop back and pass, and they got 4 to 5 seconds. Obviously, in Baltimore, there were times he had 5 to 9 seconds for Lamar to throw. And even last week with the Chargers, there were probably a bunch of plays in the snap count where that rush didn't get there for 3 to 5 seconds. And it's just hard for any DB, especially in zone coverage, to cover that long. So, all right, Big M, I want to echo Brent and let you know we appreciate you. Thanks for that, man. Thank you very much. That's awesome, guys. And again, I get it, man. If you're going to be a coach, you're going to be a reporter, you got to have thick skin. That's the first thing when I go to teach younger coaches. You got to block all that noise out, man. Go with what you believe in. But thank you all the same. One Funky, I have been quiet about this, but I used to drink a 2-liter of Dew a day for 20 plus years. Then I got COVID and developed STV, which is a heart rate thing. And now for 3 years, I can't have caffeine. I know everybody experiences different changes with COVID. I know for me, like I used to be able to, have some beverages, adult beverages, but now I have one, I'm fine. I get to two. Yeah, I just can't do it anymore. So COVID changed that with me. So I'm just glad you're okay, One Funky. And I'll drink the dew for you. How about that? All right. Bergs, what do you got? Love Porsche. He was a beast. Yeah. One of the most underrated Lions of all time. And it's sad he doesn't get talked about him more than he does in Lions lore history, because that dude, he had about a 3 to 4 year span where it just, you could put money in the bank on it. Every game he was going to get at least one sack. I mean, he was just incredible. James P., do you know what we get JJ watch out? If we get JJ watch out, yeah, I would agree with that, man. James, yeah, he would add something to it. And again, even if he's not out there all the time, you just add another part that you can get something out of, along with Houston, who's going to, let's be honest, when he gets back, he's going to still have to beef up that leg that's, probably shriveled up a little bit. And that's going to take a little bit of time, but you get him, Irvin, maybe Jack Campbell develops a little bit more. Kaminsky, you don't have to rely on so much. It starts adding up. You start having rotational pieces where guys know they don't have to, they don't have to hold back for, 3 or 4 plays. They can just say, hey, I'm going to get 10 plays a game. I need to go all out through those 10 plays. And that's where I think Irvin, Watt, and all the other guys that mentioned, that's where I think they start becoming dangerous. Michael Pearson, get us Watt and Sue. That's a possibility. I wonder what Sue has left, but we can probably say that about Irvin or Watt too, couldn't we? So, Gary, what do you got? Michael Kofer, number 55. Yeah, man. Love that dude. He was, if you don't know who he is, go look him up. I'm sure there's photos and stuff, but that dude, if he had like 3% body fat on him, I'd be surprised. That guy was just a monster and another great Lion that often probably is forgotten about, unfortunately. MJ, Lions used to be who the greats ran from. We made Sanders retire, so seeing the climate change at the Lions is absolutely amazing, even if he don't come, just the thought counts. Yeah, and I think you're 100% right, because let's just assume he does come, okay, for right now. What does that tell the rest of the league about the Detroit Lions? How does that start changing the mindset of free agents? Now, even if he doesn't come, McAfee's, he's got to have inside information. That's why he's asked him like 2 or 3 different times about this stuff. And there's other sources out there as well. But that stuff gets around the front offices of teams, and players talk about it, the water cooler, what do you want to say? The other part is, man, Dan Campbell, man, he's a poster board for the Detroit Lions. And I get he's not going to appeal to absolutely every player out there, but I think he does to a vast majority of them. Plus, you see what they're doing here. The team, the results, the players talk to other players. I think it's all a triculation effect. One thing leads to another. All right, Big M, prayers for One Funky. Yeah, I just hope you're all right, man. That's first and foremost, man. All right, Fenton, sign L. Bubba Baker. Is he still alive? I don't know, to be honest. I think he passed away, but maybe I'm wrong. And maybe you'll get this reference from Major League, the movie. Well, then take him off the list, right? But yeah, I think Baker is passed, unfortunately. One Funky, I can't even one drink. My heart rate jumps, to 170. I miss Mountain Dew. My kid calls it daddy's drink. Still, when he sees a bottle or a can. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but I'm happy you're okay, man. I'm just happy you're good to go. All right, so Brett, nice to know Brad isn't done looking for help for the pass rush. Yeah, and I think he's clearly still working things. And the longer we get into the season, the longer we're in, number 1, 2, or 3 in the NFC, and then potentially winning the North as well. That's why I think it becomes a lot more advantageous for anybody still sitting on the sideline. Although I think we all get there's not a whole lot of players still sitting on the sideline. All right, Luther Ellis. Luther Ellis would be something for sure, man. I'm getting a text in here, so sorry about that. I just want to make sure it wasn't anything of consequence here. So sorry about that. Just want to make sure it wasn't related to, anything regarding this, but it wasn't. So, all right, Big Funky, One Funky, Big M, I'm good. Just have to pay attention to what stimulants I put in my body. Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right, so I won't keep this going horribly long. Just I get it. It's breaking news. I get it to you. Jerry Ball, yeah, he was another good one. So what I'll say is, we'll see where this shakes out. If there's any kind of more breaking news on it, I'll get it to you guys as possible. But I will say this. It makes a lot of sense to me. He fits a big hole in this team. You're not going to be able to get, 30 plays out of him a game, but can you get, 12, 15, 20, maybe on the max? Then you probably got something there. You add him in with Houston. You add him in with, Kaminsky. You add him in with, Irvin. Then you see the Lions really start to develop some stuff. Also, I do have some inside information on Bugs, but like I said, unless it really needs to come out later today, I'm going to save it for tomorrow morning. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Trying to make that push to get to 4,300. I hope you all have a great day. Hit that like button. If there is some more breaking news later today, I'll get it out to you guys. But, at some point I do have to try to work and do other things. But I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.